presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
We welcome you from Cincinnati. Day baseball today and all across Major League Baseball. All 30 clubs commemorating Roberto Clemente Day to honor the great Roberto Clemente. Milwaukee Brewers, Cincinnati Reds, Game 3 of this 3-game series, and the Brewers find themselves in salvage mode right now, trying to win one here in Cincinnati. Lost yesterday, didn't lose any ground on the Cubs. They're now 3.5 back. Cubs are playing the Pirates today. Brewers did lose ground on the Colorado Rockies for that second spot in the wild card race. Hi, everybody. We welcome you again from Cincinnati. Great to have you with us. A little matinee here at Great American Ballpark alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Sophia Minnaert in just a moment. Big start today for Matt Garza. This is the highest paid Brewer pitcher, and he gets the ball today trying to help the Brewers win the final game of this series, partner.
Yeah, and he's had some big starts in his career. I mean, a no-hitter. He's pitched in postseason, and for us, I think Matt Garza knows this is a big one. The Brewers have lost the first 2 games of this series. The Brewers have not held a lead, and his last time out on the road against the Giants, pretty good work. 1 run, 5 innings. He hasn't pitched since August 29th. He got a no decision. Back at home, only went 4 innings. I think the long layoff is going to be 8 days. Might help the fastball. He needs to have a big outing. He has pitched well here in Cincinnati.
Brewers trying to get away from Cincinnati with a victory as they get ready for a showdown series starting Friday in Chicago. They need the bats to wake up here in the Queen City. By Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Last day at Great American Ballpark. It is a very comfortable afternoon here on a Wednesday, 67 degrees. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minnaert, our reporter. Matt Garza gets the ball today, as we mentioned in the open, but it is a very short leash for Matt Garza. Craig Counsell has a pitching plan in place, and for more on that, we check in with our Emmy Award-winning reporter, Sophia Bennett. Good afternoon, Sophia.
Thanks, BA, and you're right. With Matt Garza, it's been 8 days. He last went 3 1/3 in his last home start against the Cardinals. So Craig Counsell told us that when Garza was going to make this start here today, they were likely going to manage it much like they did on Sunday as a bullpen day with Brent Suter out on the mound. Now, Derek Johnson said they would like to get Garza as deep into this game as they can, and I spoke with Brent Suter as well. He made that Sunday start, went 3 innings, 43 pitches, but he told me he feels really good and he would be available coming out of the bullpen today. So he could be an option for some length there, Junior Guerra as well. So the Brewers do have plenty of options here. They have the off day tomorrow, so you know that everybody will be on deck here today.
All right, Sophia, thank you. There's a good look at Derek Johnson. Big plan in place today. The Brewers know they need to put one in the win column before they head to Chicago after the game this afternoon. Let's get you the starting lineups as the Reds hit the field behind their right-hander Luis Castillo. The Potawatomi batting order for Craig Counsell has Hernan Perez leading off. Neil Walker will hit second, the switch hitter. Ryan Braun back in the 3-hole. Braun sitting on 299 career home runs. In the middle of the order, it's Travis Shaw, Domingo Santana, and Stephen Vogt. And the bottom 3, Keon Broxton in center field with Arcia at short. Matt Garza rounds out the starting 9. And a pitcher who is going along pretty well right now for the Reds, Luis Castillo, making his 15th start.
Yeah, the earned run average very good at 332, but only a 2-7 record. He pitched well against Milwaukee back on June 28th at Miller Park. He got a no decision in a Reds 4-3 victory. Man, last time out, a no decision against the Pirates. Only went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Bullpen has let him down. That's why you see the 7 losses on his line, but a very low opponent batting average. He's a good one. Has a bright future with these Reds. First pitch of the ball game is outside, ball 1, and away we go on a Wednesday afternoon in Cincinnati. Gorgeous day for baseball. Brewers playing their final game here. Got a trip to Wrigley Field coming next. This 6-game, 7-day road trip. There will be a team off day tomorrow. And then the Brewers will return home next week for a quick 3-game series against the Pirates. Most of the games the rest of the way are inside the National League Central Division, minus the 3 games in Miami. Counsell doing all he can to shake up his lineup today to try to produce some runs. And we saw something from Craig Counsell that we don't normally see from the Brewers manager. He actually tried to employ a couple of sacrifice bunts in yesterday's game, which is a sign that he is concerned where his offense is right now as Perez strikes out, and that's how the game begins for Luis Castillo.
It's been kind of a mystery why this Brewers offense has been down so long. They really haven't been able to get any consistency. So Counsell trying to incorporate a few different things, a different lineup. You got Perez leading off. Who would have thought in the first half, the way the Brewers had been scoring runs, that the second half of the season it would be so difficult to put runs on the board.
We see Neil Walker has 1 hit in the series. He's 1 for 7. Brewers probably pressing a little bit. I mean, that's easy to say when you're struggling as an offense, but there is a lot on the line in these games. There's a lot of burden. Hitting is hard enough as it is. As Walker sends one deep to right, way back, and there she goes. Long home run for Neil Walker. And a good start for the Brewers here in the first as Walker goes deep. 1-0 Crew.
Yeah, good start. That's the first lead the Brewers have been able to get in this series. They really haven't been able to put much together. And Neil Walker, a good start here today. First inning lead. It's been a while since the Brewers have been able to tally in the first inning. Look at that fastball right down the middle of the plate, 98 miles an hour. This kid's got a good arm. He's given up now 11 homers. And the Brewers take an early lead.
Now Walker, who had a tough day yesterday at the plate, able to bounce back, deliver a home run in the first inning. Playing with a split lip. You see the bandage he has above the lip on the left side. He was in a collision at home plate in game 1 here and opened up a gash above that lip. Not ideal. A lot of swelling there. Brewers athletic training staff done a good job to keep that area clean and the swelling down so he can play with no problems.
Yeah, didn't even leave the game on Friday when it happened. That was an early in the first inning. He continues to play, and a big hit here to start this one.
Ryan Braun steps in, sitting on 299 career home runs. He's a homer away from a significant milestone. Every home run Braun hits is a new franchise record after he passed Robin Yount last year. And Braun pulls that one foul. Brewers are currently tied for the National League lead in home runs. Looking for their 6th season of 200 or more homers in franchise history. The franchise record for homers in a year was the 2007 Brewers. Ryan Braun was part of that 07 team. That was his rookie year. There's a swing and a miss. Braun strikes out. And 2 gone in this first inning.
Yeah, sweeping slider for Castillo. Let's check out the Menards defense for Cincinnati, one of the better defensive teams in all of baseball. They've committed only 66 errors this year. Duvall, Hamilton, Schebler, same 3 in the outfield, all 3 games of the series. The only real change, Peraza at second base. Scooter Gennett sits this one out. Gennett with a big 3-run home run in yesterday's ball game gets today off.
Here's Travis Shaw now, and he swings at the first pitch. A line shot into center field, and it is over the head of Hamilton. Shaw to second base as Hamilton misplayed that one, and Shaw put so much behind it, it fooled him. Hit it right over his head. That'll be a double for Travis Shaw.
Yeah, hit it right on the button. Had some backspin on it, kept rising as it got to center field, fooling Billy Hamilton, which is not easy to do. I mean, a lot of times he'll just outrun any mistakes he makes on jumps. He goes across and realized better go back, and that's going to be a 2-base hit, I would imagine, for Travis Shaw. Yep.
So a home run and a double here in this first inning for the Brewers, and now Santana coming up. Just to give you an idea of how good Castillo has been for the Reds lately, his last 3 starts, he has not allowed a hit in the first inning in those last 3 starts. So not only has he been pitching well, but he's been off to very good starts, meaning he's ready to go, game plan in place, and ready to attack in the first inning.
Yeah, he's got a live fastball. I mean, we already saw that he gets it up there in the upper 90s. And last 4 starts hadn't got a lot of run support, including that last one against the Pirates. He's 0-2. Look at the earned run average, though, just over 2. Throwing the baseball well.
No balls, 2 strikes on Santana. And that one is in there. A called strike 3. 3 punch outs for Castillo, but the Brewers do some damage. Neil Walker with a solo home run. Shaw had a double, but Walker puts the Brewers on the board. It's 1-0. And now Matt Garza on the mound for the Crew. as a member of the Brewers in his 21st game, puts the Brewers on the board 1-0. And now we go to the bottom of the first with the Reds coming up against Matt Garza. Brian Price and his Cincinnati Reds line up this way today. It's courtesy of Potawatomi. Hamilton, Cozart, Votto will lead things off. Then Duvall, Suarez, and Schebler. Peraza gets the call at second for Jeanette. Tucker Barnhart, the switch-hitting catcher. Then Castillo rounds it out. Only change in this lineup we've seen in the first 3 days is Peraza for Jeanette. So, Rock, that's the lineup that will face Matt Garza, who will toe the rubber, trying to keep his spot in the rotation.
Yeah, hasn't pitched since August 29th against the Cardinals back at Miller Park. 3 1/3 innings, 6 runs, but only 3 of those runs were earned. Making career start number 17 against Cincinnati. Currently a 5-5 record against the Reds.
Billy Hamilton shows bunt, takes a strike. This was the spot in the rotation for Craig Counsell and the Brewers that allows Jimmy Nelson to back up and then pitch in the Cubs series coming up. It's going to give Nelson 2 extra days rest. So they push Garza back as they brought Brandon Woodruff back into the rotation, started Brent Suter on Sunday against the Nationals. Garza ends up falling on this Wednesday spot, and now the Brewers will have Nelson, Anderson, and Davies, their best 3 pitchers, set to go against the Chicago Cubs over the weekend.
Yeah, and this is a big start. We talked about it when we came on the air. Garza needs to come up big and needs to keep the Reds off the board. This is a big baseball game for the Brewers. They need a win before they head into Chicago.
2 balls and a strike on Hamilton. Shows bunt again, bunts it foul, and it's 2-2.
Got him on the hand, I think.
Hamilton shaking off his left hand.
He bunted at the baseball, hit him on the hand.
I've seen a lot of hitters break digits this way. Yeah, you're right. Right off the thumb.
Yeah.
The tip of the thumb.
See the reaction right away. Very, very uncomfortable.
Stephen Vogt paying attention to all of this, by the way, the Brewer catcher. See how that influences his decision. And the 2-2 is a curveball for a ball.
Might affect the way he swings the bat, but it's not going to slow him down at all, so no walks.
Full count to the stolen base leader in the National League, Billy Hamilton. Trying to keep him off, and Hamilton chased ball 4. Count remains at 3-2.
Yeah, having a problem with that hand. The left hand, he's shaking it out after that swing. So you put this on a tee. Don't walk him. He's having a difficult time.
Another payoff pitch from Garza, and another fastball fouled away, and Hamilton having a hard time keeping the top hand on the bat. Hamilton hit the walk-off home run in the 9th inning in the first game of this series Monday. That was a crusher for the Brewers. They had come back from a 4-0 deficit before that walk-off by Hamilton off of Josh Hader. In the air to left field, a little lazy fly ball. Braun almost in his tracks is there to make the catch. And that's how the afternoon begins for Garza.
Now let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. You got Keon Broxton out in center field, his first start in the series. Although he's played in each of the games, you had VR getting starts in center field. Shaw Arcia, Hernan Perez getting a start at second. Neil Walker again at first, and Stephen Vogt behind home plate. The Brewers trying to get as many left-handed bats as they can in that lineup.
Mike Winters is the crew chief. He'll call the balls and strikes today. Marty Foster, Mike McClinsky, Chad Whitson are on the base paths. Mike Winters, a 27-year veteran as a major league umpire. And his familiar 33 on the sleeve. One away, Zach Cozart at the plate. Cincinnati All-Star shortstop. There's a good hook by Garza in there for a strike. Votto on deck. This is a very good offense, Cincinnati. They have not pitched well this year. That's why they are 19 games under 500 at 60 and 79, but they can hit with anybody.
Man, 6th best offense in the National League as far as runs scored. Brewers are 10th. Brewers are up there pretty high up until the second half started.
Cozart pulls one foul. 2-2 the count on Cozart.
You know he's going to have big offensive numbers playing in this ballpark. I mean, these guys can hit for sure, but this ballpark helps them with the runs and the home runs, no doubt.
Now they have 2 players over 30 homers, Votto and Duvall. Cincinnati as a team is 4th in the league in home runs. 193 home runs. No Jeanette in the lineup today. He hit his 24th home run last night. Reds have 5 players with 24 or more home runs this season. Suarez and Schebler are the other 2 to go along with Jeanette, and then the 2 30-plus homer players in Duvall and Votto. 2-2. Garza deals, and a ground ball foul. Cozart hanging tough.
Yeah, Stephen Vogt is trying to get Garza comfortable with the curveball. That's such an important pitch for him. Something off the fastball and slider. Garza's velocity not what it used to be, but when he's had his good games, he's been effective coming inside with the fastball and then using that good curveball.
First start for Garza since the 29th of August after being skipped to start. And Cozart hits it hard into right field, but Santana's right there, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. The ball won't be traveling as we would normally see in the middle of the summer. It's a much cooler day today than what you see here when it's all heated up in June, July, and August. 67 degrees as we hit the air, but there is a slight breeze blowing out. Not sure how that blows as it whips around the grandstand.
It's not going to hurt the baseball in the air.
It looked like Travis Shaw's ball, the line drive he hit, had a little extra carry to it. But that one Cozart just hit just kind of died in right field. Pitchers will take any break they can. 2 outs for Joey Votto. Huge numbers. He's on his way to another 100 RBI season. And 40 homers is not out of the question for Joey Votto. Numbers are comparable to his MVP season of 2010.
He's played in every game the Reds had this year. 139 games for the Reds. This is game 140 for him. Actually, the Reds, this is game 140 for them as well. So he's a guy that's in that lineup every single day.
Highest on base percentage in the National League coming into play today. What's even more impressive about Votto is how he is able to reach base deep in counts. Garza's got him 2-1 here. Votto is the league leader in on-base percentage with 2 strikes as well. 2-2 the count.
Well, strikeouts way down for Votto this year. I mean, far more walks than strikeouts, and even with 2 strikes, it becomes a very difficult out. He chokes up on that bat even more than he does normally with 2 strikes, just trying to put it in play. See too many home run hitters choke up like that, but it works for him.
5 times he's led the league at on-base percentage, and he's back at the top this year. Ground ball, fair. Whoa, bad hop. Walker knocked it down with his bare hand and will take it to the bag. That was a wicked hop, and Walker able to knock that down with his right hand. Check this out. Good play by Walker. 3 up, 3 down inning for Garza.
and get on board for 2018 by placing a deposit on a Brewers 20-game plan. By placing a deposit now, you'll secure postseason ticket access, plus guaranteed top priority for seat selection next season. Learn more at brewers.com/ticket plan.
Here we go to the second inning from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Brewers lead 1-0 on a Neil Walker home run. Stephen Vogt leads off for the Crew. He'll be followed by Broxton, then Arcia. Little tapper foul by Vogt. It's 1-1. Vogt is back in there. He has started twice in this series. He and Manny Pena have shared the duties in this series. Pena started the opener, and Vogt came in for him, pinch hit for him, and finished the game. And then it was just the opposite in last night's game.
Craig Counsell has a lot of flexibility behind home plate. He now has 4 catchers available. You can pinch hit for one and know you have that security in case somebody gets hurt.
Vogt going along well right now, and hits that one high in the air to center field. Hamilton drifting back now at the track will make the catch for the out. And Vogt is retired. Stephen had an RBI double last night, one of the few bright spots offensively for the Brewers. He and Travis Shaw had run producing hits. Shaw hit a homer last night. Brewers are glad this is a day game, and you minimize the time to sit on last night's loss. That was not a very good ball game for the Brewers. They did not play well, poor defense, and the bullpen really struggled. It was actually a pitcher's duel going into the 6th inning, and the wheels kind of fell off for the Brewers, specifically Jacob Barnes, as the Reds put up a 5-run inning.
Yeah, Barnes gave up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning.
There's a strike to Keon Broxton. One thing we did discover yesterday is that Keon Broxton has the unique ability to shove 40 pieces of gum into his mouth, and that's been viral video today. Keon Broxton trying to work that double bubble over.
I found myself laughing out loud in the room this morning thinking about that. People next to me probably thought I was crazy.
There he was last night. I mean, he was it's just sometimes you got to push through. There's a competitive factor to this. I thought it might have been a superstitious situation, meaning, you know, every time he puts a piece of gum in his mouth, the Brewers have a better chance to get a hit, but apparently it was simply a juvenile wager.
Yeah, well,
is all it was.
He was challenged. He said, "I dare you." You know, double dare you, double dog dare you, and he did it.
I wonder if he went to the triple dog dare. Sophia, what'd you find out? You've done a lot of great reporting this series, but this might be at the top of the list.
Yeah, I've now become like a gum expert, but you're right. It did start out as a friendly wager in the first inning. Hernan Perez challenged him $20 for 20 pieces of gum. So Keon countered and said, how about double or nothing? So that's how we ended up at 40. And Keon said, you know, surprisingly, I feel pretty good this morning.
That is surprising as he strikes out for the second out of the inning.
No, honestly, it's not like 20 cheesesteaks.
That's a good point, Rock. Thank you for the context.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looks like a cow's tongue.
It's got Clint Hurdle jaw going.
That's a lot of gum.
Well, just so you know, Broxton was not in the lineup yesterday.
Right.
So it was early in the game, and he was trying to pass the time, he and Perez.
And that's the thing about this team. I mean, you know, win, lose, or draw, these guys are going to have fun. But when it becomes, you know, that time in the ball game for these guys to focus, I mean, guys that aren't playing are going to relax a little bit early in the game. Nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all. You want them to stay loose. You got to play this game loose. It's not like football or even basketball. You can't be tight. You can't power your way through the game of baseball. You got to be oily.
Plus, in those other sports, you can't hide in the dugout and do stuff like that.
That's true. Little half swing. That is a strikeout for Castillo. And Castillo has 5 punch outs already, 3 up and 3 down. Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 90999. And by doing that, you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. There's another hurricane coming, which is very troubling after Harvey hits. One coming across the Atlantic, and I know all of our friends and fans down there in the Caribbean are bracing for that. Certainly down in South Florida. The Brewers are headed to Miami next week.
Yeah, Irma on the way.
Very scary time of year for these hurricanes. Matt Garza back to work, and he faces Adam Duvall to start this second inning. A wave and a miss by Duvall. 31 homers, 92 RBIs for Duvall. Brewers have kept him relatively quiet in this series. He does have an RBI. And that one is in the air to right, shallow, and that is going to fall, a base hit. And now Santana misplays it. Duvall's going to stop. So a single for Duvall, a little flare to right, and the first base runner of the game for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Santana playing deep and just kind of a knuckle buster into right field. Duvall with a base hit. Not a bad pitch by Garza. Tried to get in on his hands. He did that. Lifted out over the plate just enough for Duvall to be able to fight it off down the line and right. Thought about taking second on the bobble, but thought better of it.
Eugenio Suarez for the Reds now. And that one's into right field. A base hit. Another little flare. On the move is Duvall. He ends up at third base. And into second with a double is Suarez.
And two jam shots, and Garza in trouble. Second and third, nobody out. And trying to come inside. He gets it in there. Not enough. I mean, just a little bit out over the plate, enough to allow these guys to get enough of it to dump it down the line in right field. Suarez jams himself, and Cincinnati in business with nobody out.
Duvall to third, Suarez with the double. Second and third, nobody out for Scott Schebler. Brewers scored in the first on a Neil Walker home run, and now the Reds threatening. Schebler, a wave and a miss. Brewers have given Schebler a steady diet of slow stuff, whether it be changeups or slow curveballs.
An effective pitch. You don't want to challenge him with a fastball. He's proven that he can hit that. He's got the 26 homers.
Any pitch you have in the 70s has been effective on Schebler. Davies throwing the changeup and the curveball yesterday. Garza started him with a 74-mile-an-hour curve. And a fastball rides high. No balls, 2 strikes to count on Schebler.
Yeah, Chase Anderson effective against him as well with that curveball changeup combination. Much better on the road this year.
Yeah, it's
kind of surprising, a home run hitter.
6 more home runs on the road than he has here at Great American Ballpark. Those are not splits you see very often with Reds hitters. 0-2 the count. Garza could use a strikeout here. Got runners at second and third. And Schebler on the ground. Walker looks the runner back and will go to the bag. So the Brewers get an out. And the runners have to stay put.
Yeah, break right there. I mean, Garza hung that curveball, but Schebler hit it right at Walker. Yeah, good hands on the backhand to keep Duvall at third base. That's a mistake right there. Curveball down the middle, up in the zone, and Schebler, fortunately for the Brewers, hits it right at Walker.
So the first out. Walker's been busy over there at first base. 2 on, 1 away for Jose Peraza. First start of this series for the Red second baseman. And Garza starts him with a strike. No Jeanette in the lineup today, gets the day off. Peraza's in there. We saw Peraza as a defensive replacement once the Reds took the lead yesterday, or extended their lead yesterday.
And Peraza, no slouch at the plate either, hitting near 300. Doesn't have near the power of Scooter Jeanette. Pretty good contact hitter.
It's a good lesson in you never know how things go. Peraza was a pretty sure bet to get a lot of playing time this year, either as the starting second baseman or the starting shortstop. If the Reds traded Zach Cozart, Cozart's name was out there often as a potential trade piece. There's even word that Cozart was or cleared waivers and was available to be traded, but the Reds decided not to do that. Of course, Cozart went on and has had a terrific season. He's an all-star this year, was the all-star starter at shortstop. And with the emergence of Jeanette, it's pushed Peraza out of that starting role or that opportunity he was hoping to get this season. You never know in this game, and the way it looks in spring training, it might not look anything like that as the season begins, and certainly by the end of the year.
Pretty good 2-1 pitch by Garza to get even in the count.
See what he does. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Garza with a good breaking ball strikes out Jose Peraza.
And back-to-back curveballs. It fell behind 2-1. Back-to-back curveballs to get his man. And that allows the Brewers to walk Barnhart and go after the pitcher with 2 outs. Garza with a pretty good shot at getting out of this mess.
Second and third, nobody out. It's a ground out and a strikeout. They will walk Barnhart intentionally. And now the pitcher Castillo at the plate with the bases loaded. On the ground, Arcia is there, and the long throw is in time. Garza gets through it. A couple of jam shot hits for the Reds to start the inning, and Garza keeps the 0 on the board. Still 1-0 Brewers.
And it's shaping up to be a big matchup at Miller Park when the Cubs come to town for a 4-game series Thursday, September 21st through Sunday, the 24th. Tickets are going fast, so make sure you reserve your spot today. Go to Brewers.com for tickets.
That'll be the last series against the Cubs. The next series against the Cubs is coming up this weekend. 7 games remaining against the team you are chasing in the National League Central, the Chicago Cubs. Brewers are 4 back in the loss column, 3.5 overall. Brewers will have an off day tomorrow and then next Thursday. And the Cubs will play later tonight against the Pirates. Cubs let one get away last night. They had a late lead. Pittsburgh with a comeback win. Don't sleep on St. Louis. They have now joined the Brewers in the loss column at 67, half game back of the Brewers. And then the Cubs at 75 and 63, the division leader. That wild card race is up for grabs as well, as the Brewers are closer to the Colorado Rockies than they are the Cubs. Rockies won last night, beat the Giants, and they have broken their 4-game losing streak with back-to-back wins. So the Brewers 2.5 back of the Rockies in the wild card race. 1-0 Brew Crew. We play in the 3rd inning now, and Matt Garza leads off. Bunch of strikeouts on the board already for Luis Castillo. He struck out 5 of the first 6 batters he's faced.
He had 9 punch-outs against the Brewers back in June. His one and only start, no decision. 5 2/3, 2 runs, 9 punch-outs for Castillo. And he's got a live arm. I mean, everything moves. Got some tail on the fastball. Changeup's good.
Looks like he's found another gear, at least comfortable with another gear as a starter. There's a lot of numbers about his last 30 days as a Red. One of them that jumps out is the fact that he has had an average fastball velocity the last 30 days at 97+ miles an hour. So he is strong, and he is letting that fastball loose. That one at 96. Garza fouls it away.
Yep, 6'2", 170 pounds. Out of the Dominican Republic, Luis Castillo.
And caught the shoulder of the home plate umpire, Mike Winters. And every good catcher after something like that will head to the mound for a phantom visit to give his umpire a chance. 2-2. Garza puts the bat on it. Little roller to third base. And Suarez makes a nice play to get Garza.
Pretty close.
Matt runs pretty well, and Suarez knew he had to hustle it over to first. He makes an excellent play to get the first out of the inning.
Apparently Garza thinks he's out. He's walking back to the dugout. That's a pretty good throw. You know, off balance, sidearm over to first base. Pretty close.
Brewers do take a quick look in their clubhouse. Craig Counsell comes on to wave the umpire off, say we're good.
You're almost better off having Garza not being on base. It seems to affect him negatively when he's on the bases after, you know, to come out the next inning. So you prefer to have him sit in that dugout. You'd rather have the one out than have him out on base and have a tough next inning.
Top of the order, here's Perez. Well, Garza didn't expend any more energy walking from first base to the dugout right there.
Pacing himself.
That was a very deliberate Lou Piniella pitching change kind of walk.
Well, he was just making sure he was taking his time to give Counsell an opportunity to take a look at it.
At one point, the home plate umpire Mike Winters turned around and started clapping at him like, let's go. Get off the field.
Well, the last thing you want is to have him run down to first, then run into the dugout and run back if they overturn it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know,
very
so
practical.
You gotta just you know, take your time.
Perez takes a ball down and away, ahead in the count, 2-1. Hernan in the leadoff spot once again. Strikeout victim his first time up. That's how the game began for Castillo. And Perez hits it hard right to Suarez. Gets a nice hop, and he takes care of Perez for the second out of the inning. Two gone. Here comes Neil Walker. Solo home run in the first, his third homer as a Brewer. Walker now with 13. Nice pickup for the Brewers from the New York Mets. Take it back to the first. Got one he could handle, and he launches it out of here. Turn that fastball around deep into the bleachers in right field.
And 98 right down the middle.
And a strike to Walker. One ball, one strike.
Kind of get used to these days seeing 97, 98 miles an hour, don't you? I mean, you never used to see that kind of velocity.
Well, part of that is because the way they measured velocity. That's one of the reasons why you'd never see it. I mean, when radar guns finally came onto the scene, there were actually two guns. There was the old ray gun and then the jugs gun, and they picked up the speed at different locations. There's a swing and a miss, and Walker strikes out, secured at first by Barnhart. 3 up, 3 down with punch out number 6 for Castillo. To the bottom of the third we go. Brewers up 1-0. You always get the longer than usual game in September, but how about 18 innings?
Oh.
Red Sox, Blue Jays.
6 hours.
Matt Garza back to work. We go to the bottom of the third. And Billy Hamilton has been removed from the game. Remember, he was trying to bunt his way on in the first inning, took a foul ball off the thumb. So Phillip Ervin is now in the game in center field and in the leadoff position, his first at bat. He's had a pretty good start in minimal play in the big leagues this year. Has Ervin, a couple of home runs. So no Scooter Gennett, no Billy Hamilton in the Reds lineup at this point.
Well, even if Ervin runs well, he doesn't run anywhere near Billy Hamilton, so not near the threat that Hamilton is on the bases. There's a good curveball again. I mean, he's got a dandy today. We talked about how important that curveball is for Garza today, and he's had a good one so far.
Strikes out the rookie to start the inning. Second K for Garza. Let's get a look at this curveball.
Going straight down at 83 miles an hour. Beauty. You know, that Yankee game, I mean, there was like over 50 players used in that game, right?
That's right.
I mean, I was reading something. It's like, you know, September baseball is all well and good, but, you know, 50 guys in a game.
I stand with those who say you can allow up to 40 on a September roster, no problem, but you should be able to have to declare a specific number. I think 25 is the number you should declare, because then the game is played the way it's been played all year leading up to the final month.
Yeah,
but
it is a completely different game in September.
It shouldn't be.
Managed differently, played differently. Hey, we'll see. I mean, that's something that Doug Melvin's been talking about a long time. The Brewers have 12 guys in their bullpen today, including Brent Suter. Reds are just the same. So, I mean, it's an amazing thing when you have that many guys available in your bullpen. You just manage differently as you get through the game.
On the ground, a base hit for Cozart. Slaps one through. There was a shift on for Cozart, and he singles to right. That's the third Cincinnati hit. They've all come to right field. Three right-handed batters who have hits in this game have gone the opposite way against Garza.
Hey, you talk about all the guys in the offense for Cincinnati, but you don't really talk a lot about Cozart. It's Votto and Duvall and all the home run hitters, but Cozart might be one of their toughest outs because of what he just did. Hits the ball where it's pitched, doesn't make too many mistakes defensively either.
So a man on for Votto. Bounced out to first base in the first inning. That's how the inning ended. No balls and a strike. Votto hits one sharply through the shift. And a base hit, 2 on with 1 away. Back-to-back singles by Cozart and Votto. And again, the Reds threatening in this third inning. At 2 on with nobody out last inning.
Seems like all the hits that the Reds have been able to get have come on the fastball. First pitch changeup to Votto. Got ahead of him, came back with a fastball, and he hit it hard. So 4 hits for Cincinnati, all coming on the fastball.
As you heard Sophia report, Craig Counsell has talked about a short leash for Garza today. He's able to get through the second with 2 on and nobody out. Now 2 on with 1 away, and Duvall coming up. Duvall singled to right his last time up. Hit a little flare that fell. That's a little flare that's going to fall down the left field line. Cozart will score. This game is all tied up. Duvall up there swinging early. He's got 2 jam shot hits today. This one produces a run.
Well, again, trying to come inside, didn't get it in far enough. You can see where contact is made below the trademark, below the label. Jammed him, but able to muscle it down the line. 2 hits for Duvall, not hit all that hard. This one resulting in a run.
3 straight hits for the Reds. And it's all tied at 1 now here in Cincinnati. I'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. A slider from Garza in there for a strike. Garza's fastball in the low 90s. That slider's in the low to mid 80s, and his curveball today is in the low to mid 70s. He's had a pretty good curveball going. Tries a fastball this time. One of his better fastballs of the day.
93 up in the zone, and always so important for Garza to have good command of that off-speed stuff. That's important for everybody, but even more for him now that he's not throwing in those mid-90 range with the fastball.
Needs a ground ball here. Suarez takes a ball. 2-1 the count to the Reds' third baseman. He had a little handle hit for a double his last time up. Dumped one over the head of Walker into shallow right. He's had a big year, Suarez. A lot of production this season from third base. Buckled his knees with that curve, and it's in there for a strike. 2-2.
75 miles an hour.
Working below hitter speed. These off-speed pitches.
Well, you like the philosophy that Garza is incorporating here today, trying to bust hitters in with the fastball and not leaving it out over the plate, but not getting it in there far enough, and they've been able to muscle a few base hits off the handle.
Garza's had to reinvent himself on the mound. Now in his final year of a contract with the Brewers, his age 33 season. 2-2, and a fastball off the glove of Garza, and it gets past Perez. They're going to hold Votto around third.
Probably would have been a double play had it not gone off of Garza's glove, but that's just instincts.
It had a tricky spin too when it hit Garza's glove. That bounce it took right before it got to Perez got by him. Look at this.
Yeah, and once he had to, change direction, no way he's going to be able to get there. The Brewers fortunate that Votto didn't run all that well and not able to score, so bases loaded with one out. But that would have been a double play had Garza not got a piece of it.
Might have had a chance at a double play if Garza catches it. Runners drifting off the bags a little bit. Scott Schebler now with the bases full, one out. A run is in. 4 straight hits for the Reds. And a dangerous spot in the game for Matt Garza. Starts him with a hook, misses. Brent Suter beginning to throw in the Brewer bullpen. Warming up quickly. He made a start on Sunday.
Now he's forced to come in with a fastball on a 2-0 count. Very dangerous with this guy at the plate. Schebler, very good fastball hitter, even better with a 2-0 count. Nowhere to put him with the bases loaded.
Two balls, no strikes on Schebler. 3-0 the count. Reds have tied it up. Adam Duvall with a base hit to left, scoring Cozart. Brewers set up to turn 2. Garza trying to get one on the ground. Schebler takes all the way. 3-1 now. Five hits in these hitter counts of 3-1, including a home run.
Got to make a pitch here. 2-seamer.
3 balls, 1 strike. Schebler fouls it away. He's a tick late. Garza's fastball's got a little extra kick to it today. Getting a 3-1 count. Guys looking for your fastball and you foul it off to the left.
He's had a unique ability to get double play balls against left-handed hitters this year. Be a good time for one.
Full count, bases full of Reds. And Garza deals, he misses with the curve. It's a bases loaded walk, and the Reds take the lead.
All you have to do is throw that for a strike and misses down in the zone. Don't think Schebler would have pulled the string on a curveball, but he missed with it.
Still one out. 2 runs are in. 5 consecutive base runners for the Reds. And here is Jose Peraza. Two 2-0 the count. Now Vogt on his way out. Got to figure this is going to be Garza's last hitter if he doesn't retire Peraza. And Derek Johnson's on his way now.
Yeah, you got the switch hitter Barnhart on deck, and you'd rather have him turn around and bat right-handed. That's perhaps why you would bring Suter in the game. And you just simply can't fall behind by any more. Not the way the Brewers' offense has been. This is one of those giving Suter time to get loose visits to the mound.
Well, Garza was able to pitch out of a jam in the second. That has not been the case here in the third. 2 runs are in. RBI single by Duvall. A bases loaded walk to Schebler. And Peraza takes a strike, a fastball. 2-1 now on the Cincinnati second baseman. Brewers will try to turn 2 on a ground ball up the middle. That would end the inning. Strike 2. Garza comes back with 2 good fastballs.
95 that time. Reaching back, getting a little extra. Right on the corner.
2-2 the count. If you're Garza, you almost have to treat this like a closer would, right? You're going to empty out the tank. Don't worry about saving something. And a slider fouled away.
He struck Peraza out his first time up on a slider. Got a piece of that one.
Everything down and away thus far. 2-2 pitch, breaks his bat. Arcia on a hop to second, out, throw to first, and it's in and out of the glove of Walker. That's going to bring another run home. The Reds are going to score 2 on this play.
Yeah, that's going to be an error on Walker, I believe. RBI for Peraza and an E on somebody, either Walker or Perez, to allow the second run to score. And once again, a jam shot. Garza just hasn't had any luck on the jam shots today. That's got to be an E3, allowing that other run.
Right now they're scoring it as an E4, but I agree with you. That was a catchable ball for Neil Walker.
It's not a bad throw. A little high, but not a bad throw.
Now the Reds up 4-1 now. 2-run score on that batted ball by Peraza.
Yeah, Perez tried to put a little extra on that throw, knowing Peraza runs well, trying to turn the double play. A little bit high, but there's no way that's an error on the second baseman. This official score here in Cincinnati has made some very interesting calls in this series.
Craig Counsell now on his way out, so he's going to make a pitching change right here. And Garza's day is done. Garza is out. Brent Suter is coming in. The Brewers are down 4-1 here in the third inning. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. One of baseball's greatest players and greatest humanitarians, Roberto Clemente. And it is Roberto Clemente Day all across Major League Baseball. Brewers have a new pitcher in the game, Brent Suter. 4 runs are in. It's another big inning giving up by Brewer pitching in this series. And now Milwaukee in a 4-1 hole. There are 2 outs in the inning as Suter faces Barnhart. Got a runner at first.
Well, you turn Barnhart around to bat right-handed, a much better left-handed hitter. Probably that was a lot of what went into the pitching decision. Suter last pitched on the 3rd against the Nationals. Start of that game went 3 innings, did not allow a run. That was the bullpen by committee day for Milwaukee.
Suter had been on the disabled list. He made a minor league rehab start down in Appleton prior to that start on Sunday. Knowing it was going to be a short start, and this one will be a short outing as well, but he's going to try to give Craig Counsell and the Brewers as much as he can. If he could give him 3, that would be a bonus. He works fast, he throws strikes. Brent Suter. That's about as much as you'll get out of the fastball from Suter, 86 miles an hour. Those are the numbers from his game against Washington. One of the best offenses in the league. Runner goes, Vogt's throw to second, and not in time. Stealing second base, Peraza. Pretty good throw by Vogt, but a stolen base puts a Red in scoring position with 2 away.
Stolen base number 20 for Peraza. He can run. He and Billy Hamilton do the majority of the running for these guys. Yeah, pretty close, but in there safely.
Two the count on Barnhart. And a base hit to left. Braun's up with it. Peraza's coming home. The throw all the way in, cut off. Vogt's throw to second and out at second, but the run scores. And a disaster inning for the Brewers on the mound. 5 runs in for the Reds. It's 5-1 as we go to the 4th.
lead over the Brewers, and across all of Major League Baseball, we are celebrating Roberto Clemente Day, the life and legacy of the Hall of Famer, the humanitarian who tragically passed away New Year's Eve in 1972. And I'm joined now by Tom Walker, the father of Neil Walker. And Tom, you were a Major League pitcher over the course of 6 years. You were a teammate of Roberto Clemente's in the Puerto Rican Winter League, and you were among one of the final people to see him before that tragic accident on New Year's Eve. Can you share the story of your relationship with Roberto Clemente and what happened on that final night?
Yeah, I was in San Juan playing for Santurce at the time, which is a team Roberto played for and managed. And what basically happened, I got to know Roberto. He was a hero of mine as a kid, and I had a chance to play for him. I was not married at the time. I had a lot of time on my hands, so I went back in 1972 to play again. That time, this year I was playing for San Juan, the Senadores, who played at the same ballpark as Roberto's team did, Santurce. So between Christmas and New Year's, all of winter ball shuts down for that week, and that's the week of the earthquake in Nicaragua. And I'd said to Roberto, I'd be glad to help you load trucks, whatever you need, because he had asked the island people to send goods down to the ballpark, and enormous amount of things came in. So my job for 2 or 3 days that week was just loading trucks and going to the airport, and there was a plane donated for the use, and it had made 4 trips that I'm aware of to Nicaragua, and on New Year's Eve it was supposed to go out again. Basically what happened was the plane was having some problems, and we loaded the plane. There were 5 seats on the plane, pilot, the co-pilot, Roberto, and then 2 young Puerto Ricans, very strong men. There was not an extra seat for me, but during the course of the day, and you've got to remember New Year's Eve in 1972 was just like New Year's Eve here. It gets dark early. The plane was supposed to take off earlier in the day, but it got to be about, 5 o'clock. Finally, the plane took off. It was getting dark, and I asked Roberto if I could go. Make room for me. I want to go because you're coming back. And really the reason he was going was he felt that the goods weren't getting in the right hands in Nicaragua. So he felt if he went there, he could make sure that would happen. And he told me, no gringo, vámonos, go party, truya. That's a Latin word for party. And he was I could still see him standing on the ramp to the plane, and I was talking to him, and I left the ballpark, and I'm probably the last ball player to see him alive. As I worked my way back to my apartment that evening, and the person across the street from me in my apartment came over to tell me that his plane had crashed and there's no survivors. Well, there's no English-speaking radio stations in Puerto Rico. There's no ESPN. There's no cell phones in 1972. So, I thought, this can't be. This cannot be. And he passes away, and his legend. He's a legend today, and his spirit still lives on at PNC and around Major League Baseball. And today's a great day to honor Roberto, no doubt about it.
Well, it's hard not to get chills, honestly, just listening to you share that story and just how your life from there went full circle. You had your family in Pittsburgh to see Neil come up in the Pirates organization, the success he had there, and he shared just his memories of having that Roberto Clemente wall behind him at second base. What did that mean to you, to see the impact of his decision?
That's really interesting. I mean, my wife's a Pittsburgher. She remembers Roberto. She remembers the day he passed away, and then with Neil playing there, coming up through the minor leagues, a first-round draft pick, we're hoping he gets to the big leagues, and he did. And if you think about coming out of the dugout, he had to look at that outfield wall every time he came out of the dugout, and it's a big 21. It's a Roberto Clemente wall. So that, I'm sure that was hard on him. We don't talk about it a whole lot, but we respect Roberto and his family, and Carolyn and I were just down in San Juan for a resurgency of baseball in Puerto Rico, and got to see his family and 2 of his children and a lot of players there. So that was fun to go back. And you know, if you think about it, most of the players I was talking to weren't even born when Roberto passed away. Oh, it was nice to go down there, and I hope that I had a little impact on bringing winter ball back to San Juan and all of Puerto Rico.
Well, it's certainly a beautiful story. Thank you so much for being willing to share your story here with us on Roberto Clemente Day and to be here and watch Neil as well. So thank you, Tom, for sharing your story.
Thank you.
BA, we'll go back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot. What a it's a fascinating story. I know the story. We've heard the story from Neil, from others, but I've never heard Tom tell the story like that. And that was it. Just really, you talk about putting things in perspective.
No kidding.
It's a sobering thought to be that close to walking onto an airplane that crashes.
Yeah.
And Roberto Clemente sent him back, told him not to get on the plane. That's Tom Walker, the dad of Neil.
Almost as if Roberto Clemente knew, right? I mean, just you know, take it easy, have fun. I'm going to take care of this, and it would have been life-changing for everybody. Amazing stuff. Good job, Sophia.
After that plane crash in 1973, in honor of Roberto Clemente, the plane crashed in '72. So the next year, Major League Baseball naming this award, the Roberto Clemente Award. It recognizes the player, as that vote comes up just a little short, but it recognizes the player who does the most with each team and humanitarian efforts, charitable efforts.
Brewers had a winner. Cecil Cooper won that award. That was back in 1983.
Now these players take it very seriously, this Roberto Clemente nomination. Swinging a foul out of play. Castillo, the Reds pitcher, who's rolling along here with 8 punch-outs. These are the last 5 award winners. That'll be announced at the World Series. As Castillo lines one to third, and Shaw makes the play for the first out. Suter back out there to start his first full inning. Gave up a hit, allowed a run to score in the third. That was Garza's run. But Barnhart, who delivered the base hit, was thrown out at second base to end the inning. So back to the top, liner to left, base hit for Irvin.
Breaking ball down and away, but Irvin able to stay back, hook it into left field. 73 miles an hour on the curveball.
Zach Cozart now. Runner goes, Vogt's throw to second is late. Irvin is in with a stolen base.
Pretty good lead and had a really good jump, and not much of a throw from Vogt. Would have mattered anyway. Short hop to Perez, able to keep it in the infield. Another man in scoring position.
Dangerous part of the order too. Cozart, then Votto. There's a strike from Suter. First big league steal for the rookie Irvin. Cozart in the right. Santana closes. He's got it for the out. And Irvin will hold his ground as the throw comes all the way in from Santana. Second out of the inning. 2 gone, runner at second for Joey Votto. Votto had a single his last time up, pulled one through the shift, and a base hit to right. Reds had a 5-run inning last night. They get another 5-run inning today. And the Brewers offense stuck in neutral here.
Yeah, walk him here. Why not?
Votto will make the intentional pass.
Set up the double play. Got to get the baseball down. Here comes Craig Counsell.
Counsell is going to his bullpen early again. Gonna bring on Jared Hughes. With Duvall coming up. Gonna see a lot of relievers in this one today. Suter is out. The third pitcher for the Brewers coming in. We'll set him up after this. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota, let's go places. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Things are not going well for the Brew Crew today. They are trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the last place Reds. Right now, Cincinnati, after a 5-run third with a 5-1 lead. First and second, 2 outs. Duvall at the plate. Counsell brings on Jared Hughes to try to get out of this 4th inning.
Yeah, Hughes has done a good job in these spots. Inherited runners, only 5 of 24 have scored. He's got 2 inherited runners in this situation.
Irvin, the runner at second. Votto intentionally walked. Brewers trying to catch the rookie napping at second base. Duvall with 2 hits today. Drove in a run his last time up. Now with a loaded bullpen, Craig Counsell said this was going to be a quick hook kind of day with Garza on the mound to start it. Garza could not get through the 3rd inning, went 2 2/3. And Suter out with 2 outs in the 4th.
And Craig Counsell hoping that this is going to be 1 out and done for Hughes. He's due up 4th in the next inning. He certainly hoped the pitcher spot comes up next inning.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 now on Duvall. Reds already have 5 runs on 8 hits. And Duvall with 2 of those hits. Two and 1. Hughes deals. Duvall fouls it away.
He's gone to that slider quite a bit lately. It's been a good pitch for him, not just a 2-seamer. 2-seamer, good ground ball pitch. That slider, more of a swing and a miss pitch.
Count stays at 2-2. Hughes deals it, and Duvall fouls another one off.
He's also been riding that fastball up in the zone a lot more than he has throughout his career. Effectively.
This is going to be a grinder of a day for Craig Counsell and the Brewers, trying to get through this one. Already in your bullpen early. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off. Duvall hanging tough. They're just reporting here that Billy Hamilton is going to have an MRI on his left thumb. He was trying to bunt his way on in the first inning and took a foul ball off that thumb. There's a swing and a miss. Hughes strikes out Duvall to end the inning. And the Brewers able to put up a 0 in the 4th. 5-1 Cincinnati. We go to the 5th inning.
It's a perfect night to sit in the Miller Lite beer pen. The Brewers host the Cubs, and all fans 21 and over who sit in the Miller Lite beer pen will get a free Brewers Truckers cap courtesy of Miller Lite. For tickets and details, visit brewers.com/beerpen.
Stephen Vogt will lead off for the Brewers as we play in the 5th inning. And Luis Castillo dial it up. The big strikeout numbers already. 8 punch-outs in the first 4 innings. Vogt, Broxton, and Arcia coming up. And the Brewers down 4. Brewers had a 1-0 lead after a Neil Walker homer in the first. But a 5-run third for Cincinnati. Right back to the box. Right there to make the play is Castillo, and 1 away here in the 5th. Castillo has retired 11 in a row now since Travis Shaw's double in the first. Brewers got 2 hits in the first inning and nothing since that time. Here's Keon Broxton. Next up for the Brewers in the pen will be Jeremy Jeffress. Jared Hughes' spot in the batting order is due up fourth in this inning as Broxton rolls one to short and he beats it out. Infield hit for Keon Broxton. Cozart did all he could, but a slow roller, and Broxton is on with his first hit of the day.
Yeah, good hustle down the line. And once that ball got by Suarez, you knew it was going to be a tough play for Cozart, even with his good throwing arm. Broxton barely able to beat it, so there's a base runner from Milwaukee.
Brewers need to take advantage of every scoring chance they have. Playing the fifth, down 4, trying to salvage the final game of this series. Here's Arcia now. Arcia, the 23-year-old shortstop, hit a big home run on Monday night, 3-run game-tying homer. Brewers were able to erase a 4-run deficit in that game, only to lose the game on a Billy Hamilton walk-off. But in the 7th inning, Orlando Arcia stepped up. On the first pitch he saw, he launched one out, 3-run shot to tie the game at 4.
And right about then you figured the Brewers offense was going to start clicking along, but that has not been the case. They need to get it going.
It's been a much different story since the calendar turned to June for the Brewers offensively. They got off to such a great start in the first couple of months of the season, scoring over 5 runs a game. But since June, the offense is producing runs at about 4.2 runs per game, down nearly an entire run from the first 2 months. So it's not just been a slumping offense. This is kind of where the Brewers offense has settled for the last 3+ months of the season. They're going to need a breakout here today, though. What's kept the Brewers in the race is their pitching. Wave and a miss. Arcia trying to chase ball 4.
Yeah, starters and relievers have been very good. Kind of a little hiccup here at Cincinnati yesterday and today. Brewers offense since the beginning of June has kind of sputtered a bit. Not too late to get it going though.
Broxton at first, Arcia at the plate with 1 away and a check on Keon. Luis Castillo, one of the 4 rookies in the starting rotation for the Reds right now, and they've been pitching well here lately. Castillo last time out against Pittsburgh, 4 innings, 2 runs. Arcia in the air, right field. Irvin is over with room, and he's got it for the 2nd out.
Barreled it up, just got under it a bit.
So Arcia is out, number 2. Council's going to go to his bench here, and he will bring on a pinch hitter, Jet Bandy, who is one of the 4 Brewers catchers currently on the roster. Bandy's just coming back from the disabled list, had a fractured rib and went down, played a minor league rehab game, and was immediately put back on. He just started taking cuts from live pitching last week. It was an expedited return to the active lineup and the active roster. So Bandy will hit. Wave and a miss. 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, still throwing hard. 5th inning. 97, 98 miles an hour.
This is Bandy's first at bat in the big leagues since August 3rd. He finished the game defensively against the Nationals on Sunday, and it's a little bit low in the dirt. Good block back there.
Catching all 3 games of this series, 2 day games and a night game.
One and two the count on Bandy. Bandy was hit by a pitch on July 30th against the Cubs. Pitch that cracked a rib and a hairline fracture in the rib.
And didn't know it. Knew it hurt, didn't know it cracked the rib until the next day.
2-2 the count on Bandy. Runner goes, and a swing and a grounder foul.
You ever crack a rib?
I have. It's the worst pain.
Hurts to breathe.
Doesn't go away.
Heaven forbid sneeze or cough. Yeah.
I've had one on each side.
Same time?
No, I had one in high school, playing football in high school, and then I had one as a much older person out tubing on the lake. Bad idea. 2-2 pitch. Bandy pulls that one foul. Yes, I was ejected off the tube at a very high rate of speed.
It can be dangerous in that water. Did you hit a log or something?
Oh,
How do you break a rib?
Actually, I had injured that rib playing basketball a few weeks before, and then the point of my elbow hit. I even had a life jacket on, but it was kind of down a little.
Yeah, so you
slid down, and
so you broke your own rib.
Broke my own rib, basically, in the force of the water.
That's not easy to do.
I'll tell you, man, it was not fun. I was talking to Bandy about it. I know trying to get back to play baseball it's impressive. He's been able to come back. There's a swing and a miss, a strikeout to end the inning. Strikeout number 9 for Castillo.
Ballpark. Time for today's UW Whitewater Athletics Scouting Report. The Colorado Springs Sky Sox have finished up the regular season an 80-57 record, their first postseason berth since 1997, and tonight they will open up their first playoff series against the Memphis Redbirds. It'll be Taylor Youngman on the mound, and he had a strong finish to the season. He went 9-2 with a .259 earned run average, 82 strikeouts for him in 17 games. 15 of those were starts, but it was how he finished the season. He went 2-1 with a 1.5 earned run average in his final 5. So Youngman will take the bump here in Game 1 for the Sky Sox. Best of luck to them as they begin their playoff run.
Yes, indeed. Former first-round draft pick by the Brewers, Taylor Youngman. And let's hope Colorado Springs has a great postseason run in AAA and the PCL. Jeremy Jeffress is on to pitch for the Brewers. Went a couple of scoreless innings against the Washington Nationals, and then came back, pitched a scoreless inning against the Reds here on Monday. Went back-to-back games. He is on in the 5th. It is 5-1 Reds, a 5-run third inning for Cincinnati.
Man, Jeremy's looking good, throwing a lot of strikes with all 3 of his pitches. The split change, he seems to be throwing a lot more of those these days, particularly against lefties. And the fastball, the curveball, and the split change. Good movement on that fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Eugenio Suarez leads away for the Reds. He's been on twice. 2 hits today for Suarez. Scored a run in that 5-run third. He had the 4th of the 4 consecutive hits in the 3rd inning. And there were 6 straight base runners against Matt Garza. Garza went 2 2/3 today. Garza to Suter. Suter pitched a complete inning, got the final out of the 3rd, and then the first 2 outs of the 4th. Jared Hughes, a 1/3 of an inning to get out of the 4th. On the ground to short, Arcia with a long throw. No problem. Suarez is retired. And 1 away. Jeremy Jeffress on the mound once again. Has found a home in a place he calls home in Milwaukee. Let's check in with more on Jeffress from Sophia.
Yeah, that's right. Jeffress in his 3rd stint here with the Brewers. He told me earlier this week he's just really settled in. He said he's just found that comfort again. He says he's just found some things with his delivery that weren't working for him with the Rangers. And Rock, you mentioned that split change. We talked about that pitch. He said it was a pitch he started working on in the spring of 2016. He's really proud of how he's been able to develop that pitch. He said it gets the guys off of that sinking fastball. So he said even though it comes out looking like the sinker, he said it's obviously slower, and he feels it's really made a difference in terms of how effective he's been.
Yeah, it's been a good changeup for him, and probably an easier pitch to throw for strikes or get swings than the curveball. Curveball can be difficult at times if your release point's not just not right, and to throw that pitch for strikes, that big breaking curveball that Jeffress likes to throw. There's that pitch right there. That's a good one. Not quite the splitter. Dives a little bit more than a straight changeup.
Jeremy had 27 saves with the Brewers last year. He was a big part of a trade to the Rangers that brought the Brewers 3 players back. Jeffress and Lucroy traded to Texas. Brewers got a young pitcher, Luis Ortiz, and of course 2 outfield prospects, one of which the Brewers have already traded away, Ryan Cordell. That was in the Swarzak deal. Lewis Brinson at the top of that heap. There's a strikeout for Jeffress. He gets Schebler, 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, the more off-speed pitches you can throw this guy, the better. Another split change, and Schebler really struggles with those changeups. Well located down in the zone.
2 quick outs. Jose Peraza will bat. Peraza was a part of a key moment in this game. Reds had taken a 2-1 lead There was one out in the inning. It was Garza's last batter, as it turned out to be, but Peraza hit a ground ball, a little jam shot that the Brewers tried to turn two. If they turn two, they get out of the inning. And only 2 runs in. Instead, couldn't turn two. The throw got away, and 2 runs scored. Reds would add 1 more later in the inning.
Yeah, they initially gave the error to Perez, but they changed it, and it was an error on Neil Walker. And I think Walker would tell you that was a throw he should have been able to catch.
It's a little bit indicative of Garza's day today, though. He did give up a bunch of hits. A lot of those hits were off the handle. So a bit of bad luck to go along with the multiple base runners for Garza in a short outing today. And Peraza, who runs well, if he hits it a little harder, it's probably going to be a routine 6-4-3 double play, but it was almost like a little pop-up, a soft liner off the hands.
Yeah.
And Arcia had to wait for it. Did the best he could. The Brewers just couldn't turn two.
Yeah, the fact that he got jammed so badly was actually a benefit for the Cincinnati Reds. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, Garza, made a concerted effort to pitch inside. He didn't quite get him in quite far enough. Not right on the corners. He left it out over the plate, although they didn't hit it very hard. Gave him a chance to dump it over the infield.
Well, we used to be able to talk about those kind of hits with our eyes, and now exit velocity readings will back up those visuals, and there wasn't a whole lot of exit velocity off the bat in that inning. There's a swing and a miss. Jeffress with an impressive 5th. 3 up, 3 down, couple of Ks. Let's see if the Brewers can get the bats going here. They're down 5-1. We're headed to the 6th inning in Cincinnati. Neil Walker, he'll hit, responsible for the only run on the board thus far this afternoon. In that room right there, 2 greats, Hall of Famers, Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan, attending the ball game today. Well, I would love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. Huh?
Yeah, that was the guy back when I was growing up. You were a young catcher back in those days, back in the 70s. That was the guy, Johnny Bench.
Castillo back on the mound. Here's Hernan Perez. Brewers are at the top of their batting order. Perez, Walker, and Braun coming up. How many catchers wore number 5 for Johnny Bench?
Yeah,
I did.
And how many catchers tried to catch one-handed like he did, even on balls in the dirt, right? I mean, there aren't too many guys that could do that like Johnny Bench. Wasn't a guy that often went down and blocked pitches. You know, he would just pick them clean.
Very similar to what we see with Yadier Molina. I mean, Molina will block him when he needs to, but
incredible throwing arm, could hit homers. Johnny Bench, yep.
You know, his playing days were a little before my time, but the way I knew Johnny Bench and studied the way he played was because he was, remember, he was on the Baseball Bunch. Remember that show? That was a great show. Tommy Lasorda was the genie on that show, and Johnny Bench hosted the show. It was a really cool show for kids, and I remember every Saturday morning waking up to watch that show during the baseball season. Ground ball, a broken bat for Perez. Suarez makes the play for the first out, and Luis Castillo is making it look easy right now. He retired 11 in a row at one point and has retired 14 out of 15 since Travis Shaw's double in the first inning.
He's looked good. I mean, he deserves a much better record than 2-7 given that earned run average that he's posting. Earned run average in the threes, the low threes at that, and a 2-7 record. This guy's got good stuff. Everything moves.
Neil Walker got him for a homer in the first. That's been the lone bright spot offensively for the Brewers today. Walker hit his third homer as a Brewer, has 13 now for the year. Started his season with the Mets.
It's the only lead the Brewers have had in this series. He's got such a nice, easy delivery. I mean, it looks effortless. The ball comes out of his hand and kind of jumps on the hitter.
Pulled foul by Walker. Castillo acquired by the Reds in a deal with the Marlins this past offseason. He was Miami's minor league pitcher of the year last year. Marlins were looking for pitching help, relief help. Dan Straley went to Miami. Castillo, one of the prospects that came this way. That's a shot, but right to Cozart. And the All-Star shortstop makes the play for out number 2.
Hey, get live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat. The official app of the Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
2 up, 2 down. Here comes Braun now. Can always tell the stuff of a pitcher when you see swings and misses, and Castillo has twice struck out Ryan Braun, which you rarely see.
Breaking pitches out of the strike zone. That pitch right there, slider. Basically throwing two different breaking pitches, one a little harder than the other. 2 fastballs and a changeup.
No balls and a strike on Braun. On the ground, third base, backing up on it, Suarez. Long throw is in time, and a 3 up and 3 down inning. Brewers go quietly in the 6th. 5-1 Reds. Final game of this series in Cincy. Yeah, Rule 5 pick, right? Off waivers. Unbelievable. What a legacy. Two of the greats. Roberto Clemente Day across Major League Baseball. Glad to have you with us. Fox Sports Wisconsin. All of those watching in on MLB Network this afternoon as well. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard, our reporter. Jeremy Jeffress back on the mound, his second inning, and a ground ball to Walker. Nice play. Jeffress is there for him, out number 1. And Jeffress has been able to restore a little order in this one. He's retired 4 in a row.
Yeah, good play by Walker. Had to backpedal a little bit to get the easy hop. And Jeffress waiting for the toss over to first base. Jeremy really has turned things around, has he not? Looks a lot more confident out there on the mound and throwing a lot of strikes.
Here's Castillo, the Reds pitcher. He is twirling a gem today for Cincinnati. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings of work. He's only given up 1 run on 3 Brewer hits. And 2 of those hits coming in the first. Jeffress ties him up with a power sinker. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. One ball, 2 strikes on Castillo. And Jeffress makes quick work of him. A strikeout for Jeremy. 2 gone here in the 6th inning. And the 3rd punch out for Jeffress.
And that brings us to today's Tower of the Game winner is JT's long shots in West Salem. Another Damian Miller town.
Okay.
Yeah, West Salem. And maybe a Damian Miller sighting in JT's. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Lacrosse area hot on the Tavern of the Game lately.
They are. They're coming in hot at the end of the year, right? things are going well out west Wisconsin and lacrosse.
I would imagine Damian's all fired up, getting to be hunting season out there.
The former Brewer. Josh Hader getting loose in the pen. If the Brewers get to Votto in this inning, you'd see Hader, I'm sure. Jeffress trying to make it a 1-2-3 6th and give Counsell 2 scoreless. Jeremy's throwing hard, 96 mile an hour with that fastball. 2 balls and a strike on Irvin. He came in for Billy Hamilton, who left this game with a thumb injury. Hamilton was trying to bunt his way on in the 1st inning, and on an attempted bunt he fouled it off, but the pitch ball hit his thumb, which was on top of the bat, and so he stayed around for the at-bat, played the next inning defensively, and then was taken out. Irvin is batting for the 3rd time now. Ground ball to Arcia, and Walker fell down, had to scurry back to first base. Not sure what happened there, but the out is recorded.
Tripped over the bag, I think.
The inning is over, and Jeffress with 2 scoreless.
But a guy 2-7, earned run average at 332 coming in. You wonder why, and you continue to wonder why. I mean, the stuff has been exceptional here today. I mean, fastball got a lot of movement on it. 2-seamer, 4-seamer. Slider's been good. Changeup. Brewers only have 3 hits. One of them a home run by Neil Walker. No walks, 9 punch-outs, and he is on cruise control right now. I mean, the changeup's been a good pitch for him. Our Badger Mutual plays of the game, Luis Castillo, on the top of his.
Now the Brewers have just the 1 infield hit since Travis Shaw's double in the first. Castillo's retired 16 out of 17. Shaw is up, broken bat, little roller out to second. They had a shift on, and Peraza makes a play for the out. Brewers are going quietly today against Castillo.
A lot of ground ball outs lately.
That's 4 ground ball outs in a row to go along with the 9 strikeouts. Started his year in Double-A. He was in Pensacola. That's one of the great venues in minor league baseball, by the way, right on the water, right on the ocean. Very cool setup. Santana, a big swing and a miss. Castillo made the jump from Double-A to the big leagues. He had a 2.58 ERA in Double-A this year in 14 starts. And a bunch of strikeouts, more strikeouts than innings pitched. He had a strikeout to walk ratio over 7-1. So the Reds gave him a shot here in the big leagues in late June. He was a victim of a number of blown saves once he got to the major leagues,
including one against the Brewers in his second start. That was back at the end of June.
Two the count to Santana. 0 for 2 today, and a called strike 3. Same pitch that struck him out in the first. Fooled him with a fastball, and 2 men are gone in the 7th. 10 punch outs for Castillo. That is a new career high. Had 9 Ks against the Brewers back on June 28th. That was the game Rock was referencing with the blown save. He struck out 9 against the Pirates 2 starts ago. And he's got Vogt down in the count. 0-1 on a half swing. Getting a glimpse at the Reds' up and coming young starters, Stevenson and Castillo. Little roller to second base, and another breeze of an inning for Castillo. 7 innings, 1 run, 10 punch outs, and it's 5-1 Cincinnati. Stretch time at Great American Ballpark.
struck out for his third inning, the Reds with a 5-1 lead. Beyond the Diamond is a series of community outreach events that will take place each month during the season, all of which involve partnering with Brewers Community Foundation, players, coaches, Brewers' wives, alumni, and team personnel working in the community. The events will be funded in part by BCF and focused on the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the Reds half of the 7th inning. And Jeremy Jeffress is back on the mound. He will continue on here as he pitches in his 3rd frame. Jeremy Jeffress has retired 6 in a row since coming on in the 5th inning. 2 scoreless with 3 punchouts. Zach Cozart leads off.
This might be his last hitter, Cozart. You got Votto on deck. Activity down in that Brewers bullpen. There's Josh Hader.
I figure Hader will face Votto. Jeremy has been extremely durable. I talked to him about it after Monday's game because he pitched 2 scoreless innings on Sunday and then came back Monday and pitched once again. Usually you go multiple innings, that is almost an automatic day off, but Jeremy said his stuff was so good Sunday he didn't even feel like he had to go max effort. Yeah. And he was just very comfortable. He was throwing the fastball to go along with that split change that he throws, and he said it's pretty easy on the arm. He was just letting it fly. And
yeah, when your mechanics are working nicely, that's the kind of thing that happens. I mean, it's kind of like a hitter when his mechanics are good and taking a nice easy swing of the baseball, ball jumps off your bat. Same thing with your arm. Nice easy mechanics on the mound and the ball jumps out of your hand.
Cozart into left field, that's way back, and that's going to fly out of here. And the Reds add to their lead. 6-1 Cincinnati as Cozart hits his 18th of the year.
And speaking of good mechanics with a swing, it's been that way for Zach Cozart all year. Some kind of hitter, very underrated around baseball. Fastball down the middle, good velocity at 95. You can see Jeremy knew right away that ball was trouble. Good extension down and through, and Cincinnati adds on to their lead.
And that'll be the end of the line for Jeffress. Tried to give him all he could. Maybe one batter too many, and he will exit. Hader is coming in, and the Brewers in big trouble in Cincinnati. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. And by Chevy, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com today to find a dealer near you. Roberto Clemente Day across Major League Baseball. And we are here in Cincinnati, and the Brewers are down 6-1. Votto facing Josh Hader. Hader into the game. Nobody out, 7th inning. Cozart's just gone deep. And the Reds have jumped out to a 5-run lead now. They've scored 6 unanswered. Good to get Hader back on the mound again. His last time on the mound gave up a walk-off home run to Billy Hamilton. That was on Monday night.
Yeah, you got to figure that against the Cubs, Greg Counsell's going to want to use him quite a bit. Got the day off tomorrow. Give him some good feelings going into Chicago.
2 teams the Brewers are chasing, the Cubs and the Rockies. Cubs play tonight against the Pirates. As Votto with a swing and a miss. And it's 2-2 on Votto. Jose Quintana on the mound for the Cubs tonight at Wrigley, at PNC. And Garrett Cole, the Pittsburgh ace, will pitch for the Pirates. A swing and a miss. Hader strikes out Votto. A rare Joey Votto K. 1 gone in the 7th.
They got him to chase a pitch at the top of the strike zone. 97 miles an hour that time for Hader. Good velocity, reaching back and blowing it right by. Pretty good left-handed hitter. Votto's got good numbers against lefties.
A little confidence booster for the young Hader. 1 away. Here is Duvall now, 2 for 3 in this game with a run scored and an RBI. So you got the Cubs and the Pirates tonight. Cubs and Pirates will play again tomorrow night. John Lester and Jameson Taillon. You get the picture for the Brewers. Brewers, barring a comeback today, you lose today's game, that drops you 4 back and 5 in the loss column, and the Cubs will play 2 games before the Brewers meet the Cubs on Friday. They could add a full game of separation to that one with a couple of wins. Brewers are leaving themselves exposed right now. They had gotten into within a half a game of the wild card race and 2.5 of the Cubs, but they are in danger of getting swept here in Cincinnati.
They're playing so well against the Dodgers on the road and had a good homestand, and things were looking pretty good. Just couldn't get muster enough offense to this point.
There's a swing and a miss, and Hader punches out Duvall for the 2nd out.
And you know, when you come into Great American Ballpark, you're not going to win too many 2-1 games. You got to get the bats out. Cincinnati Reds can score. The Brewers have not in this series.
Two gone. Here is Suarez now. Tonight the Rockies will have Freeland on the mound at home against the Giants. Freeland against Cueto in that one. Kyle Freeland has been excellent, the rookie left-hander. He's coming off a short start his last time out against Arizona, but he's 11-9 this year and a 3.89 ERA. Suarez pops this one up. Walker into foul territory, will make the catch, and the side is retired. Good work by Josh Hader. He needed that. Strikeouts of Votto and Duvall and a quick 3 outs for the lefty. Yeah, they're having some rough attendance figures coming out of St. Pete right now. Twins are right there in the picture for sure. Watching the Twins outside looking in to start play today, a half game behind the Angels. Yankees are in the top spot in the American League wild card race, 2.5 clear of the Angels, but there are 6 teams within 2.5 games, so basically 6 teams for 2 spots, and then you could add the Mariners and the Royals. My cutoff is over 500.
Right.
When you get over 500, then
right.
you'll get discussed.
On Fox Sports Wisconsin.
On Fox Sports Wisconsin.
That's a dividing line.
That means that
I agree.
Seattle and the Royals only get a casual asterisk mention.
You can't make the playoffs under 500, right?
I should hope not. Big fastball at 97. Castillo has it riding high here in the 8th inning, putting together his best start as a big leaguer.
Yep, so under 100 pitches as he works here in the 8th inning.
Had an 8-inning game earlier this year against the Marlins. He is cooking right now, though. That was 99 miles an hour with some sink on it. 3-2 the count on Broxton. This crowd's getting into it, the small crowd that it is. On the 10th strikeout, it is free pizza for everyone. Broxton denies him. Ground ball to short. Cozart makes a play, and out number 1. So 1 away. Here comes Arcia now, and Arcia, one of the 3 with 14 homers on the year on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Travis Shaw hit number 28 yesterday. Thames and Shaw at the top. You've got Santana with a career year with 24. Broxton has a career best 20. Brewers would love a few of those the rest of the way, but they're running out of outs down to their last 5, and Arcia, big swing and a miss.
99. Young man still has a lot left.
Luis Castillo, acquired from the Marlins this offseason. There's a lot of hope here in Cincinnati about what they're going to be able to put together on the mound with some of their young starters getting all of this experience, this valuable experience. They got 4 rookies in their rotation right now. There's a bullet back up the middle. Arcia with a clean single. And the first hit for Milwaukee since the 5th. It's only the 2nd hit since the 1st inning.
Yeah. And no walks, 2 hits since the 1st inning. Well, that's good extension for Orlando Arcia. Got a fastball out over the plate, rips it into center field.
So with Hader's spot coming up, Counsell will go to the bench, and Eric Sogard, Corey Knebel, the Brewers closer, getting loose on the right. Taylor Williams.
Man, you know that Castillo wants to finish this one. He's been victimized by the blown save a number of times this year. And Brian Price is really has no interest in taking him out at this point. There's activity down in that bullpen, but a lot of times the manager take a starter out. You know, 5-run lead like this late in the game. That bullpen has not been all that dependable.
Kevin Shackelford is loosening in the Reds pen as Sogard takes a ball inside. 2-0 to count on Eric Sogard, pinch hitting. Got the start at second base yesterday. And that one's in there. 96 with the fastball. It's what we were talking about with Castillo when we hit the air. He has been able to maintain that fastball velocity. Reds have been very cautious with him, and he's not pitching deep into ball games often. He did had the 1 8-inning performance back in late July. Sogard on the ground. Nice play at second base. Peraza gets an out at second. That's all they get, but a heck of a play by Peraza.
It's kind of been what the Cincinnati Reds have been doing all year. I mean, their pitching staff might have been a little inconsistent, but their defense has been terrific all year. Third fewest errors in the National League, and Peraza making a really nice play to get the force out at second, robbing a base hit from Eric Sogard.
Never ceases to amaze the quality of the skill of these players, the hand-eye coordination. Peraza just put the glove out there before the ball was even on the ground on a hop. He knew exactly where it was going to be. There's a swing and a miss by Perez. Sogard takes off. Red's not even holding Sogard on, but he will take second base, and now a base hit. The Brewers can put another run on the board. It's been a while. They haven't scored since the first.
Yeah, middle infielders in the big leagues. I mean, the talent level is off the charts, particularly at shortstop.
That's down the line, foul.
They're hard pressed to find a team that isn't really solid up the middle. You know, particularly at short. I mean, excellent fundamentals. I mean, good quickness, hands, arm. Zach Cozart amongst them.
If you ever get a chance to come early to the ballpark, ballparks that open the gates early, they do in Miller Park 90 minutes before first pitch. You're able to watch a little bit of batting practice and fielding practice, and it's fascinating to watch these guys play. Roller out to short. Cozart will make the play, and Luis Castillo keeps on churning here. 8 strong innings. Impressive 8 innings. Pitcher Luis Castillo. Day is done for the young right-hander, and a career day it was. 10 punch-outs, 1 walk. The strikeouts are a new career high. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. A first-inning home run by Walker, and the Brewers are down 6-1. Their closer Knebel is on the mound. Knebel needing some work here in Cincinnati.
It hasn't pitched since Friday against the Nationals. That's a long layoff for Corey. Brewers have a team off day tomorrow,
And then a series with the Cubs beginning on Friday. Sogard stays in to play second base. Well, the Brewers are going to have their work cut out for them in the division now. But you can't ask for anything more than head-to-head matchups with the team you're chasing, and the Brewers will play the Cubs 7 times in the last 22 games of the year.
And that's what you want when you're behind and when you're chasing the leader. You want to play them. The Brewers have their own destiny right in front of them. You play well against the Cubs, you get right back in it this weekend.
Miller Lite, what's on tap? Jimmy Nelson will start it for the Brewers Friday. John Lackey gets the ball for the Cubs at Wrigley. That is a night game. Some of the schedules have it as a day game, but the Cubs requested a time change and was granted. Schebler flies to Broxton, out number 1. So a night game that we'll start our coverage on Brewers Live on Fox Sports Wisconsin at 6:30. There are not many night games on Friday nights at Wrigley Field. Matter of fact, the Cubs had to get a special waiver from the mayor to get that game to a night game. Cubs play tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and so they requested that the game time be changed so they could get a little more rest.
Didn't they know that from the beginning of the year? I mean, is that something that changed in Pittsburgh?
Perhaps an oversight.
Of course, the Pirates never give teams a day game on getaway day during the week. You wonder why it took the Cubs so long to make that change. But it doesn't matter. As Craig Counsell says, we'll beat you in the daytime. We'll beat you at night. Doesn't matter to us.
Well, they're hoping so. That is going to be a
they got to think that way
must
anyway.
win. Well, at least, as Counsell put it, at least the Brewers have gotten the Cubs' attention. They want to have a little extra time to rest up after their night game in Pittsburgh. Fly ball to right field. That's going to slice in the seats.
Yeah, what about the fans though that thought it was a day game, right? I mean,
that's the one concern I would have is, you got, I would imagine there are a lot of people who planning trips to Chicago to see the Cubs play in the afternoon. That's a bit of a tradition, a Friday afternoon game at Wrigley.
Right.
Something I always enjoy, being able to watch a day game. Usually the Cubs are the only day game on Friday afternoons. So that is a little bit of a bad break for their fans who had planned to see the Cubs play. They have to rearrange their schedules.
Yeah, maybe not able to go to the game.
Deep fly ball to left, and that one is not coming back. Home run for Peraza. He doesn't hit many. It's just his 5th.
I tell you, the Reds have taken the Brewers to the woodshed last couple of days. I mean, they have put up some big numbers. Pitching staff of the Reds has been good. They have completely dominated the last 2 days. And fastball in, and Peraza turns on it, knocks it out of here, makes it a 6-run lead.
Seven to 1 Cincinnati. Tucker Barnhart at the plate for the Reds. It's always tough on closers who feel the ultimate of adrenaline pitching in the last inning, trying to get those final 3 outs when you pitch in a game like this.
But you can't really leave your closer sitting on the sidelines too long. I mean, it really negatively affects Corey Knebel, particularly his curveball. So he hasn't pitched since Friday, and he won't pitch again until Friday in Wrigley, hopefully, for a save. That's a long layoff. Got to get him in there today.
And one thing Knebel has proven, he is much more effective, especially with his curveball. He's more effective when he is getting regular work. He doesn't mind the workload. He said he's trained for it, and It's the way it goes sometimes, right? You're a manager, and as Knebel issues a walk, you're trying to keep those games and those outings to a minimum. But Knebel pitched 3 straight games. Brewers are in all those games. He needed them. And then suddenly you're sitting for a while. And that's just enough work for Knebel. Council's going to take him out. And we're about to have a major league debut for the Brewers. Taylor Williams is on to pitch. Knebel exits. Pitches, the fact that he is on a big league mound. Taylor Williams, 2 years out after Tommy John surgery. Double-A this season, he was outstanding in the Southern League.
Yeah, they like his arm. 0-2, 309 earned run average. Look at the strikeout numbers. 57 strikeouts and just shy of 47 innings of work.
What a great accomplishment to make it here. Major league debut. His first batter faced is Scooter Gennett, the former Brewer. Taylor Williams was lighting it up at Double-A as he was going along, and his command started to come back. The stuff was always there, but the command started to come back. I was having a number of conversations through this time with Matt Arnold, who kept saying, Taylor Williams, watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
And sure enough, at 26 years of age, 2 years away from pitching competitively, he's earned his way back. I'm sure his heart is pounding right now.
Yeah, well, you hope it's not pounding too much. Got to collect himself. Made 22 appearances down in Double-A. 14 of them starts.
It's from the Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Washington. And Council, he had 2 things to say about Williams. Number one, he's earned his way here, but as far as how he was going to use him once he arrived here in September as a September call-up, he said we need to get him on the mound first, get the major league debut over with, get that piece of the puzzle and all of that goes with a major league debut, the adrenaline, the anxiety, get that over with, and then let him step into a situation that he can succeed. And they feel like he's got a chance to be a high leverage late game type reliever.
He's got the big arm. We haven't seen anything but fastballs at this point.
Little tapper, that's going to stay fair. That's right on top of the plate. Vogt will take the out at first. That one had a ton of spin on it, but stayed in fair territory.
Hit that one about 2 inches, did Scooter.
So Williams has his first out in the big leagues. What was the exit velocity on that one, Ron?
That is literally 2 inches. My question is, why didn't Vogt just tag him?
A 2-3 put out for the second out.
Do we have an exit velocity on that?
I don't know. That's got to be, I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we're in the 50s?
11?
38 miles an hour off the bat, that was. Jeanette hit a huge homer yesterday for the Reds.
Yeah, terrific season he's having.
Yep.
Brewers see Cincinnati at the end of the year back at Miller Park. Not done with the Reds yet.
2 gone. Irvin at the plate, and Williams with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. First outing in the big leagues. Major league debut for Taylor Williams. Trying to get the last 2 outs of this 8th inning. Williams facing the rookie Phillip Ervin, who came into the game for Billy Hamilton. Fly ball into center field, routine. Broxton is there, and welcome to the big leagues, Taylor Williams. His major league debut is in the books. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Coming down to the last inning here. The Brewers trail 7-1. And the story today is the young right-hander Luis Castillo, who the Reds are considering shutting down for the rest of the season after this start. And if that's the case, what a way to go out. 8 strong innings, 10 strikeouts, a new career high. Brian Price will give the ball to Kevin Shackelford for this 9th inning.
And another hard thrower coming out of that Cincinnati bullpen. He has struggled today, or this year I should say. A 641 earned run average and now 17 appearances for Shackelford. And last pitched against the Brewers on Monday. A scoreless inning, gave up a couple of hits.
Eric Thames leads off for the Brewers. Thames will pinch hit for Milwaukee. Ryan Braun due next, then Travis Shaw. Thames is hitting for Walker. 0-2 the count. 1-2 on Eric Thames. Thames has been out of the starting lineup the last 2 days. He's tied with Shaw for the Brewers home run lead, 28. 10 of those have come against the Reds this year. And a lot of that damage was done in the month of April. Foul ball. Thames hit 11 home runs in April, set a franchise record for homers in a month. Had 11 home runs and 19 RBIs in his first month back in the big leagues after a 3-year absence. He was playing in Korea, where he became a star. Got him. Strikeout to start the ninth. And that is strikeout number 11. And a more enthusiastic reaction by the crowd here at Great American Ballpark. That earns them free pizza.
Yeah.
The 11th strikeout.
Eric Thames looked a little uncomfortable in that at bat.
Something's tight, isn't it?
You know, just didn't seem like he was feeling 100%.
That second swing looked like something grabbed him. Here's Braun. Now, Rock, you called this series a trap series when we began, and it has turned out to be that way for the Brewers.
Yeah.
Coming off a series against the Washington Nationals where the Brewers won 3 out of 4. They play great baseball. They got excellent pitching. Took 3 out of 4 from a team that is running away with the National League East. That was coming on the heels of taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers on the road in Los Angeles.
And split a 2-game series against the Cardinals, and then you got the Cubs coming up. And you know, not that the Brewers, you know, relaxed or take anybody lately. That's not the case, but you just fear for series like this, where you know, a team that's in last place really has nothing to lose, and they took it to the Brewers. You got to give them credit.
7-1 Reds. They've out-hit Milwaukee 10-4 today. Braun right back to the mound for out number 2. Now, who knows what the rest of the season will entail, but the Brewers right now can look at 2 road trips that were severe blows to their hopes to make it to the postseason. If they come up short this year, it'll be a road trip to Pittsburgh right after the All-Star break, where they got swept in a 4-game series, and a 2-8 road trip. But those 4 games, especially in Pittsburgh, and then the 3 here in Cincinnati in September.
Yep. Well, go into Chicago and sweep them and make it a 3-3 trip.
Cubs are sitting there with an opportunity to get 5 games up on the Brewers when that series begins on Friday. The Cubs play tonight. They'll play again tomorrow before the series starts. Oh, and 2 the count. Brewers down to their last strike. Brewers will have Jimmy Nelson, Chase Anderson, and Zach Davies ready to go against the Cubs Friday. Cubs counter with Lackey, Montgomery, and Hendricks. And a strikeout to end it. 12 punch-outs for Red pitching today. And the game is over. The Brewers go quietly in the 9th, and they get swept in Cincinnati. A final score this afternoon of 7-1. Matt Garza takes the loss, and Luis Castillo, in what looks like his final start of the year, with his best start of his brief big league career, will get the win. Jeff Grayson standing by in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios. It's time for Brewers Live. Jeff.